My name is Sister Mary Armella Pietrowski. I have been in ministry for 70 years. The seed of my vocation was planted in my heart the day I was born. I was assisted at my birth by a sister of divine providence, and I believe it's then that my seeds for my vocation were planted. I met the CDPs because I went to school there for 12 years of my education. We lived on the property of St. Camillus Academy, so geographically, I was in the midst of the sisters at all time, in the classroom, after school, on the weekends, and it was always delightful for me to be able to keep up with them in that way. The joy of the Lord gives me strength, and that's what I always experienced in them. And often when I would pass the school, I would hear the sisters in chapel praying, singing. I would see them cooking and cleaning. All those times were very special because they made it special for me. When Sister Gregoria said to me, "Armella, are you going to the convent?" And I said, "No, I don't think so." And she said, "I thought it would be too difficult for you." And those are the words that challenged me deeply. And so I've never forgotten them. They may have felt negative at the time, but they were a challenge and an inspiration to me to follow my vocation. My ministries have always been in education, in the school, in the classroom. After that, I moved into the catechetical field and worked for the Diocese of Covington in Eastern Kentucky. I was at Paintsville in the boarding school, so I was teaching the children plus taking care of the boarders at times. I did like traveling throughout Eastern Kentucky. Those were the days when the roads were not very straight or very well paved. So many of the time I had to pass by a coal truck that took most of the road, and so I had to move over, but there was no shoulder to move to. So often I would just catch my breath, close my eyes for a second, and keep going. Providence was with me, and those trips were safe. The virtue that's closest to my heart is charity. As I grew up with the sisters, that was the focus of their lives, to be charitable to those in need. So that was in the boarding school, it was in the school itself, it was to families within Corbin, Kentucky who needed help, including my family. They were always there. If someone was giving birth to someone, they were at their home assisting out of their own charity. I saw the charity between them, doing things for each other, also reaching out to the homeless or someone who could not pay the tuition. They were still welcome at St. Camillus. And so I thought, if I can emulate that charity that I witnessed, how great would that be?